The Syrian Desert, also known as the Syrian Steppe, the Jordanian Steppe, or the Bardia, is a region of desert, semi-desert and steppe covering 500,000 square kilometers of the Middle East, including parts of southeastern Syria, northeastern Jordan, northern Saudi Arabia, and western Iraq. It accounts for 85% of the land area of Jordan and 55% of Syria. To the south it borders and merges into the Arabian Desert. The land is open, rocky or gravelly desert pavement, cut with occasional wadis. The desert is bounded by the Euphrates Valley and the volcanic field of Harrat al-Shama to the west, and by the Euphrates to the east in the north. The desert gives way to the more fertile areas, and to the south it runs into the deserts of the Arabian Peninsula. Some sources equate the Syrian Desert with the Hamad Desert, while others limit the name Hamad to the southern central plateau. A few consider the Hamad to be the whole region and the Syrian Desert just the northern part. Several parts of the Syrian Desert have been referred to separately, such as the Palmyrene Desert around Palmyra and the Homs Desert. The eastern section of the Syrian Desert, that within borders of Iraq, can be referred to as the Western Desert. The name Shamir has also been used for the Syrian Desert. The name has been translated in the past as Badiyat al-Sham. The 700 to 900 meters high region in the middle of the desert is the Hamad Plateau, a rather flat, stony semi-desert consisting of limestone bedrock covered with chert gravel. What little rain arrives on the plateau flows into local salt flats. The highest peaks of the plateau are those of the 1000 meters plus Khor Vual in Saudi Arabia, and the 960 meters high Jebel Anisa, at the border point between Jordan, Iraq and Saudi Arabia, together with the other deserts of the Arabian Peninsula. The Hamad Desert has been described as one of the most arid deserts of the world. Some of the climax plants in the Syrian Bardia are Salsola vermiculata, Stipper barbata, Artemisia herba alba and Atriplex leucoclada. This desert ecosystem is under threat from drought, overgrazing, hunting and other human activities. Some native animals no longer inhabit this area, and many plant species have died out, while grasses with a lower nutritional value to livestock have replaced them. The Syrian Desert is the origin of the golden hamster, storks, herons, cranes, small waders, waterfowl, and also raptors visit the seasonal lakes. Small rodents are common, as are their predators such as snakes, scorpions and camel spiders. Previously common were gazelle, wolf, jackal, fox, cat and caracal, also ostrich, cheetah, hartebeest and onager. The large mammals are now no longer to be found, thought to be due to hunting by man. The desert was historically inhabited by Bedouin tribes, and many tribes still remain in the region, their members living mainly in towns and settlements built near oases. Some Bedouins still maintain their traditional way of life in the desert. Ciphatic inscriptions, Proto-Arabic texts written by literate Bedouin, are found throughout the Syrian Desert. These date approximately from the 1st century BC to the 4th century AD. One of the most important ancient settlements in the Syrian Desert is Palmyra. First mentioned in the 2nd millennium BC, the city was an important trading center in Roman times, and its people were renowned merchants who took advantage of its strategic position on the Silk Road linking the Far East to the Mediterranean, by passing by caravans, establishing colonies on the Silk Road, and trading in the rare commodities from the Far East, thus bringing enormous wealth to their city. The city's people were a combination of Arameans, Amorites and Arabs. Another important ancient settlement is the city of Dura Europos on the Euphrates. Originally a fortress, it was founded during the Seleucid Empire and initially given the name Dura, which means fortress, but was called Europos by the Greeks. The combination Dura Europos is a modern invention. The city prospered, mainly for its location on the Euphrates, importantly linking Mesopotamia to the Mediterranean, thus playing a huge part in both the commercial and military connections between the two regions. It was, however, raided by the Sasanian Emperor Shapur I in the 250s. Most of its citizens fled, and under Sasanian rule, The city was subsequently abandoned. The Syrian Desert was first traversed by motor vehicle in 1919. During the Iraq War, the desert served as a major supply line for the Iraqi resistance, with the Iraq portion of the desert becoming a primary stronghold of the Sunni resistance operating in the Al-Anbar Governorate, particularly after the coalition capture of Fallujah during the Second Battle of Fallujah. A series of coalition military operations were relatively ineffective at removing the resistance presence in the desert. As the resistance began to gain control of the surrounding areas, coalition spokesmen began